Hello out there, comic book lovers. It is Friday. So you know that means I'm doing my Friday night reviews. I am going to take three comics from the previous Wednesday, so the three what I thought were the best, and do a review of them. And then I'm going to take the one that I liked the least. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, but it's the one that I liked the least. And check it out. Happy Friday, everybody. You know what that means? It's time for Friday Night Reviews. Now, I know I say this every once in a while. I'm going to do things a little differently this week. I am going to do the 4 videos. The one that I didn't like, the one that I liked the least, and then the 3 that I liked the best. But, you know, that's normal for this week. The difference for this week is I'm going to do 3 that I liked the best minus the top 2. Because this was actually a pretty good week. There was a lot of stuff that I bought, but there was 2 that were so exceptionally good. I want to do separate reviews on those. So I'm going to do the one that I liked the least, the three that I liked better, and then I'm going to do 2 bonus videos, or 2 extra, depending on how you want to look at it, for the ones that I liked the most because they were so good. And so let's get started. And welcome back. Let's get on to, have you ever noticed I'm always doing this and stuff? I'm trying to stop. Let's get into the ones that I liked the best this week, minus the 2 that I'm going to do a little later. This one is The Resistance, number 6 of 6, which ends this story arc. From his Twitter page, JMS says that he's working on a volume 2. One thing I've noticed about these AWA upshots are they are miniseries, and I guess they're just going to do one set, and in his case, the next set, and all of the ones that I've read are really good. So, The Resistance, as I mentioned a second ago, is written by J. Michael Straczynski, who is probably best known for Babylon 5, Joe's Comics, Midnight Nation, Squadron Supreme, Spider-Man, Superman stuff. Just, in my opinion, an incredible writer. The man is either a genius or I'm a huge fanboy, or a combination of both. I'll admit that I'm a huge fanboy of his, so take my opinion, for what you think it's worth, and go with that. So, The Resistance is written by J. Michael Straczynski, drawn by Mike Deodato Jr. and Lee Loughridge. Not sure how you pronounce that. The basic gist of this series is there was a global pandemic. And I'm pretty sure he started writing this before what's been going on now, that killed about an incredible amount of the population, millions more than what is going on now. Just, a huge amount of the population. And all of a sudden it stopped. And certain members of the population gained superpowers. And then you've got the government trying to deal with it, and then there are government trying to use some of the superpower people for their advantages, then there are superpowered people who are using it for their advantage, and then there are others who want to fight it all, and hence the resistance. This covers most aspects of it, and it's really well done. Mainly it follows a guy who worked in the president's cabinet who disagreed with how he was going to handle it. He takes off. The president is tries to have him killed. And the people who are resisting the government catch him, and these are people who have the superpowers, and they're trying to bring humanity together. And this is the conclusion of the story arc. And I have to tell you, wow. JMS, whatever he writes, whether it's, episodes of Murder, She Wrote when he was on it, Captain Planet, He-Man, comic book Superman stuff, whatever he does is very well done, and this is no exception. Yeah, it was almost prophetic in his part as to what is going on with certain things, the pandemic, and the strife that's going on. But minus the superpowers, of course. But it is so well done, and the cliffhanger that he's doing for this to set up the next miniseries. Wow, it's just one of those things where you're just like, oops, this is gonna be good, and I'm going to call my comic shop. This was not on my pull list. I knew there was going to be copies of it on the shelf when I got there, so I never really needed to worry about it. But I'm going to call my comic shop and say, put the Resistance on my pull list. The story is so incredibly well crafted. There's a lot of talking in it, but it doesn't feel exposition filled. I don't know if you've read any comics where it's just like there's the art, but there's so much exposition in it, and it just like, oh, come on. But this isn't one of them. There is a good deal of it, but it is all just kind of snappy and interesting, and it doesn't feel like there's a lot. And there's things going on in the panels that explains things that they don't need to do in dialogue. If you haven't read this book, now that it's finished, get the trade. It is such a well done book. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. Can't suggest it anymore. So, have you read it? What did you think? Let me know if you think I'm right or wrong, and enjoy your comics.